Russini, our Adam Schefter. Studio, though, of course, we got Josina Anderson, Lewis Riddick, and Jeff Saturday. So I want to just begin first with who is your #1 candidate? Let's just start there. Who you think should be MVP?
Todd Gurley.
I'm just going to go quick around the horn.
I'm going to go with Gurley, too.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Good one, too.
Yep. I would like for you to make
Great
your case.
one.
Todd Gurley, without a breath of hesitation. This is the best player.
93 scrimmage yards. I mean, it's ridiculous what he's doing. You got to give him his due. If he has a big game this week, I think it's going to be tight. I think there's going to be some people who he's going to really give Tom Brady a run for his money.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Tom Brady. Here's the issue for me. I understand.
Because he is running for his life with that offensive line over there and still getting it done.
All right. Well, I want to bring in Adam Schefter here, get his thoughts. So you two are in agreement. You're going with Russell Wilson. I'm going. So, guys, what does a player other than a quarterback have to do, you think, to actually win this award?
You're seeing it with Gurley. Make everybody around him better. I mean, those guys are getting out in the flats. He sets up their block so well. You're asked to run between the tackles on a 3rd and grimy 1 or whatever, and he'll put it up in there. Everything he does makes his fellow teammates better.
That even though Drew Brees' numbers are down this year historically compared to what they've been in the past, the guy is playing absolutely phenomenal. How a guy like Drew Brees has thrown for 5,000 yards 5 times and never won an MVP. No other quarterback's done it.
Also, Todd Gurley is being utilized, which comes from the new head coach and Sean McVay. So some of that is that too, right?
Well, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just
it's
saying.
built around him. There's no doubt. But no,
his own.
Yeah, because of default. They don't address the offensive line. Now, Russell Wilson would rather have it another way where he's protected in the pocket and can let it go than running for his life and being the leading rusher with 29 yards.
But 4th and 40, Russell Wilson, we talked about, he's got angels in the sky.
There ain't no doubt.
It could be 2.5 seconds and he's still right.
But he's doing it by default. Like
living it or not,
but he's still extremely valuable. On the Rams themselves, they have another player that won't get any. He may get a vote or two.
The best option on defense right now for MVP as well, right?
He's had an incredible
we could probably have a whole other conversation.
Here's the deal, though. Aaron Donald, Sean McVay, and Todd Gurley.
Even though Goff won't get comeback player of the year, you're my.
All right, so
Lou has pledged his love of the comeback player of the year. I love it. And listen, no disrespect to Russell Wilson. Listen, I've been talking about him MVP the whole season. He has played fantastic ball. You're just talking about, how thin can we slice this thing right now?
Well, the women are the only ones who are going with the quarterback for this title here. I'm going with Bree. Of course, she's going with Wilson. But what if Wentz and Watson were healthy right now? How much would this change the conversation?
Well, you can throw Aaron Rodgers in there, too. He had played the entire year because who...
his own towards, and I'm just talking about in terms of going 3 for 3. But you know why? Regardless, even if they had made it through, why they wouldn't have been that for me, because it's about how you handle the pressure, even when you're a rookie. And to me, it's the mentality that also is that defining edge.
Yeah, but they...
Under pressure.
For
this
sure.
is the great part about MVP.
Yeah.
Regular season.
There really are no criteria.
Yeah.
It's what do you think is good.
Well, I keep going with Tom Brady doing ridiculous things and making them look very routine. Playing on a team whose defense was so bad at the beginning of the season. I mean, they've come around now. We're talking about the Patriots here. Who's there? So, Lou, what's your reaction? Is this a good move?
That's classic Bill.
Yes.
He has a clearly defined role in mind as that. I'm up there, and if he puts him on the football field, he tells you this is what you're going to do and how I think you can be good. It's funny how it winds up usually happening that way more times than not.
And the comedy.
The postseason last year. Tight end Greg Olsen, one of the team's captains and offensive leaders, can pretty much get anything he wants from his teammates. The veteran has earned their respect. So when our Jack Collingsworth convinced him to call some of his teammates to get them to sing some holiday jams over the phone as a joke, the mission accomplished.
I feel you. Good heavens.
I feel like that's really been the theme this whole season about the issues of the replay. So we're obviously here at work, right? But we heard that the malls are packed today with people returning gifts, which had us thinking which players were signed this year that maybe we think that should be returned or kept, and maybe what rules should be changed. So, Jeff, is there a rule perhaps you want to return?
We just talked about it. Centralized replay. It is absolutely miserable that every Sunday night, at this point, it's lengthened our games. It takes momentum out.
A popular fantasy name next year, Surviving the Ground. That seems to be the popular slogan. Lou, what about you? What would you be returning this year?
Yeah, you know what? I would return Deshaun Jackson, and no fault of his. Because, look, Deshaun Jackson is one of the most elite third-level player. He is a big play player. He is a 20-plus yard catch player. And when you can't get the ball to him, it's just frustrating. It's like, why did we sign this guy if we can't get him the ball in his element? So It's not his fault, but that's what I would return.
All right, Joe, what do you return?
It's not his fault, and you will return him, and it's not his fault?
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't necessarily
So
make
then,
a whole lot. But you know what? I would be like this. How about this? I would take him back from the Bucks. How about that?
There
How
you
about
go.
this?
And what,
I gave
put him
you a
back to
gift,
Washington?
and now I'm
Take
going to
him
take it
back.
back.
Oh,
How
with
about
your
that?
gift receipt,
How about that?
you're one
There
of
you
those.
go. Take it back.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
I like it.
They call those kind of givers out there. I'm not sure if you can say that, though. Joe, what are you returning?
So I got to do all of the star injuries in the NFL. Man, I got to tell you, I was on Twitter and I saw a Washington Post talking about is the NBA taking over the NFL.
Oh.
The NBA's up 24%. Blah.
Love that. Listen, it has been
It's changed everything.
It's been brutal. I mean, you think about the Packers and what you've had to watch for so long. Estimated the popularity of our game because people tune in for that guy now because of fantasy and all the other things that drives our game. Man, we need them all back.
Let's bring in our NFL insider, Adam Schefter. Same way. And speaking of Tampa Bay,
Bill Polian would want that same one, too. How many championships he lose on a
it's
kick?
true.
Feels the pain right there.
it's true. Mike Glennon would have been mine return for the Bears, right? I mean, what are they going to do with him now? That didn't work out very well. All right, so a lot of returns, but a lot of people are keeping their gifts. We all got some good gifts this year. So if there was a player that you wanted to keep, Lou, who would you keep?
Oh, without a doubt, it'd be A.J. Bouye down there at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look,
Good
for
pick,
$13.5 million per year on average, you only had the guy who was second in the league in interceptions and fourth in the league in pass breakups. When he was on the free agent market, I remember watching him down in Houston going, this guy is a dynamite.
Keeping all of them there.
I like
What about you?
Jimmy G, Garoppolo.
That's an easy one. That's the best gift in the league.
It's unbelievable. And what he and Shanahan have done together.
And what are you definitely not returning?
I am keeping, I know y'all don't want to hear it, but I am keeping the discussion going on Kaepernick. You know why? Because I got a couple of teams I need to call out. The Colts, 3-11 with Jacoby Brissett.
All right, let's bring in insider Adam Schefter. We heard gift. Like if I'm the Vikings, I'd re-gift Bradford back to Philly. I think that would be a good one. No?
You kind of like Carson Wentz.
I just meant so the Vikings don't need him.
Oh,
Get
they
rid of
don't
him.
have to have him.
That's what it was, to get rid of him. They don't need him, you know? All right, still to come. Josh, what do you got?
I'm going all in on Alvin Kamara. Did you know that this guy was on pace to set the record in the Super Bowl era for yards per carry entering that game against the Falcons at 6:59? Murphy Morris has that record at 6:40 set in 1973. He is the curry in the Saint Spice. He is the paprika in their pepper. He is the swag in their stick. So I am all in Alvin Kamara because he is spreading that offense and helping Sean Payton with that intricate play calling.
Boom and zoom there. You've been talking about the 49ers all day
I like it.
today.
I like where
Jimmy
they are.
G, John Lynch,
You
a little
know
bit of
it.
everybody. Minnesota.
Okay.
They're Vikings. The defense,
a good
I'm
one.
not sure if they're number one. They're clearly number one
Clearly.
after Sunday. No doubt about that. That'll do it for us here.